It's important to take breaks in life to rest and recharge. As a 31-year-old husband and dad, I think deeply about what it means to live a good life, and I've of course planned a few trips and vacations as well. I've thought a lot recently about the intersection of the internet and travel, and about how the internet has transformed the way that we travel and the opportunities that come along with it. So today I'd just like to share with you 3 ways the internet has changed the way that we travel. Number 1 is the ability to explore places via satellite imagery before you go. This capability is a game changer. I mean, if you're unsure if Mount Rushmore is worth the visit, for example, drop yourself into Street View at the Lookout and look for yourself. Are you curious if the water on that beach in Hawaii is really sky blue? Have a look-see on Google Earth. Are you wondering what the road situation is on the way up to that villa you've been eyeing in Costa Rica? Well, check it out for yourself and make a decision. It's never been easier than now to do the homework beforehand to make sure you have an amazing travel experience. Satellite imagery allows you to skip tourist traps that might not be worth your time. It allows you to gain insight into what the terrain you're going to be experiencing is. And it also allows you to just build anticipation before you actually go on your trip. Don't make the mistake of not planning for your trip and missing out potentially on making it a more relaxing, meaningful, and memorable experience. Number 2, it is much easier now with the internet to decrease risks and uncertainties in your travel. Beyond the obvious things like the internet helping you avoid countries with civil unrest or extreme weather or countries with governments with prohibitive jurisdictions, it can be a tool also to help you dial in what you can expect while you're there and the things you need to take care of before you go. A few years ago, my wife and I went on a trip in Europe, starting in Barcelona and traveling up through Provence in southern France and ending in Switzerland. And we knew exactly what the most efficient train routes were, how much the trains would cost, and generally exactly what documentation we would need before we went, because I looked up all that information online before we went. It was an incredibly relaxing and rewarding trip because even though unexpected things did come up, like some train strikes in France, we generally knew the course of action we needed to take to keep things running smoothly and to continue enjoying our time. Think about a channel like Yes Theory. Now, how have these guys been to so many dangerous and unexplored places? How have they been able to stay safe thus far? Well, they do as much research as possible beforehand, so their game time decisions are far less risky than they otherwise would be. Conversely, this illustrates why travel was so difficult during the COVID-19 outbreaks of 2020 and 2021, especially in places like Thailand. Information that people were finding online was changing by the hour, and so a lot of unexpected things did come up that many were unprepared for, and it made for some rough travel experiences in quarantine. Now that things have settled down, make sure you're doing your research beforehand so you don't have regrets later. Number 3, the internet has caused travel to become a status symbol for many. And so you have to be careful that you're not falling into the trap of keeping up with the Joneses. For example, just because everybody is going to Rome and throwing coins in the Trevi Fountain does not mean that will be the most rewarding experience for you. Maybe you enjoy cooking and you would much rather spend an afternoon in the Italian countryside with a dairy farmer learning how to make mozzarella cheese. It has taken some time and experimentation, of course, but what I've found in my own travels is that the typical travel experience I would enjoy is often significantly different than what the average person might do in a particular city. Yes, having your photo taken in front of the Palace of Versailles might look really cool and get you likes and admiration on social media, but I can promise you that is fleeting. At the end of the day, maybe finding a hole-in-the-wall cafe in Paris with excellent wine and pastries and reading a new book may give you more lasting satisfaction and will be something that you will remember with more fondness as you grow older. I challenge you to embrace authenticity in travel and focus on that rather than gathering content for the sole purpose of increasing your status. I think you will appreciate that way more in the long run. That's all for now. I hope this was an engaging discussion about some of the ways that the internet has changed the way we travel. I hope everyone is well and that you all get to visit some amazing places in your lifetime.